Holly friends, I'm so happy you're visiting the doll cupboard today. Remember, we last left Mrs. Quince in the infirmary at Whistleby House after she had a bicycle accident while delivering fish for her husband. Before attaching her limbs, the Twizzlemans asked if I would do a simple assessment to see if anything more was necessary. I have the crutches just in case, but these are too large for her. I need to make some smaller ones. I'll have to go back and watch my own video to remember how to do that. The torso seems simple enough. Here's a leg. It seems to have a simple hook attachment. Looks pretty good and straightforward. This one looks like it has some adhesions and might need a little debridement. This arm might need a little debridement as well, but overall looks pretty good. And this arm looks great. I don't think she's going to end up needing crutches anyway, and she's certainly not going to need any bandaging or antiseptic. So we'll just get rid of those for now. No expert doll hospital services will be necessary. I'm going to get right to work on that debridement so she can get put back together as soon as possible. Pretty straightforward, just a little scraping to break those adhesions and no special equipment necessary. Mrs. Quince did ask if I could provide her with some hair, as San Francisco could be quite a cold city, especially near the waterfront, etc. I told her I was a willing amateur and there would be no cost, and she implored me to proceed. I'm trying to dredge up in my mind videos of doll wigging videos that I've watched without actually watching them. So I'm creating some strips to create a wig cap out of some muslin. So I'm just trying to create kind of the back portion of her hair, and I thought this might be easier. Well, it remains to be seen if it actually is. So I'm just dipping my little strips in a water and glue solution and applying them right to her head, which is of course protected by the plastic wrap. You could achieve the same thing by putting the muslin right over her whole head and securing it with a rubber band to shape it, but I thought I might end up with too many folds if I did it that way. While she sits in the egg cup to dry, I'm going to see what I can do with this bag of human hair, which I have no idea where it came from. I'm just kind of examining it to see how much I have and how I might work with it. I've seen people make wigs with wefts of hair, regardless of whether it's synthetic or mohair or human hair. And I'm thinking she's so tiny, she probably doesn't need very much. I have very, very little of this hair. I started by gathering little sections of the hair and gluing the ends just with my fingers, using some glue on the ends of my fingers. And then after it dried, I trimmed them a little bit to make them even. You can see them right there. And I'm going to apply them to the wig cap. You can see in the front of her head there, where the little red dot is, the little lock of molded hair. I like to take the opportunity to practice things on my small, uncomplicated dolls like Mrs. Quince that need care. It helps me learn techniques without too much distress over ruining anything. Worst case scenario, I can remove it and start again. And best case scenario, she's improved. So I encourage you to try things like stringing and wigging on your small dolls first. While the wig is drying, I want to demonstrate how the Twizzlemans attached her limbs. It's a simple crisscross pattern where the arm is attached to the opposite leg. And I'm just going to use these inexpensive hair rubber bands that I got from the Dollar Tree because I think they're going to be just about the right size. So I'm starting with one of her arms and I'm looping it on the end of the hook, and then I'm looping it around again. You'll see what I mean. See how I did that so that it's tight and won't be apt to fall off. And then I'm putting it in there, and I'm using a crochet hook because it's nice and tiny for a small doll like her, just to pull the loop through. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite leg. So I have her right arm and her left leg, and I'm going to hook it on and then loop the band around it again, just like you would if you were, you know, making a ponytail in your hair. This is Quince. Good job, Twizzlemans. Now, even though she's such a small doll and her head is smaller than the diameter of a penny, I didn't really have enough hair, so I recommend having more hair than you need. I ended up coloring inside the cap with my alcohol pens because I didn't consider the color would be wrong against her peachy pink scalp. So that would be another thing you should consider. I'm creating a little slit in the wig cap to add some hair going across the front, and I'm folding it across the little tool that I have here, and I'm gonna put that little nub into the slit and pull it through so that it would actually create a little part and make it look a little more natural. And I'm not doing a very good job of showing you because I'm just trying to sort out my hair, but you'll see when I fluff it all up. I'm moving forward to gluing it to her head. I'm just using tacky glue with warm water or a gentle blow dryer. You could remove it if you wanted to, if you don't like the way it looks afterwards, but I think it's going to be okay. At this point, I'm already considering adding a kerchief between her molded area and the little wig I created. So I'm just putting a little band over it while it sets up, and then I'll comb it out. But you can see there where it meets the molded area, I'm probably going to need to put a little scarf. So I'm just looking at what I have, and I kind of like this blue and white one with red hearts. So I'm just combing it out, and all of you hairstylists out there are cringing right now watching me give her a little haircut. I have no idea how to do that, so I'm just cutting it. It's hair and I'm cutting it, so I'm calling it a haircut. So she doesn't look too bad. She's got a couple little bald spots in the back there. It's really more that there's just needs to be more of the hair, and I just don't have enough. But I'm going to create a little scarf here, a little kerchief, and I think that'll be good. She's out bike riding anyway and needs to keep the hair out of her face. So I just cut it to size, and then I'm just using a little bit of glue to fold a little hem, and then I'm going to shape it a little more and tie it around her. I decided to add some eyelashes to her. I thought it would give her a little more character, but it really just makes her eyes look even buggier than they already are. Poor Mrs. Quince. I added a little fringe just by pulling on the fibers in the kerchief, and I'm going to form it to her head. So her saran wrap is going to go back on, And I've added some water and glue mixture to form it down because otherwise it won't stay down. And then I'm just tying a little ponytail for her with some embroidery floss. And I'm going to put her kerchief on. I think she looks pretty cute. But her cheeks, I think I want to add some more red to her cheeks. One of her cheeks has some red and the other one doesn't. I don't really want to use acrylic because then she's going to really start to look ridiculous. I know I won't do a good job. So I'm using some cream blush that I have. Now, I don't know if it'll even stay on her, but it's not like, I'm going to be touching her cheeks or anything. So I think it will stay on her and her cheeks will be a little rosy because she will be exercising, doing deliveries for her husband and for their business. Dr. Twizzleman and the nurses are putting away all the equipment and things that they used, and Nurse Jenny is getting ready to discharge Mrs. Quince from the infirmary. Unfortunately, the fish she had in her pail didn't make it when she had her accident, but they weren't going to make it anyway. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and please come back and visit me next time in the doll cupboard.